On a cool March morning in 1996, 25-year-old Alicia Showalter Reynolds set out on what should have been a routine drive from Baltimore, Maryland, to Charlottesville, Virginia. She was a bright young woman, a recent Johns Hopkins graduate with a promising future, and she was looking forward to spending the weekend with her mother while attending a shopping trip together. But Alicia never made it to her destination. Instead, she vanished along the rural highways of Virginia, later found brutally murdered, her case becoming one of the most haunting unsolved crimes in the region. Alicia Reynolds was born in Baltimore in 1970. The daughter of a devout Christian family, she was known for her intelligence, warmth, and ambition. She excelled academically, graduating from Johns Hopkins University with a degree in chemistry, and was pursuing graduate work at the University of Virginia. Friends described her as compassionate, focused, and driven, the type of person who seemed destined to make a difference in the world. On March 2, 1996, Alicia planned to drive from Baltimore to Charlottesville for a shopping trip with her mother. She left early in the morning, dressed for the day, and called her parents before she departed. The drive was one she had made before, largely along United States Route 29, a rural stretch of road that would later earn an infamous reputation. Alicia's last known moments were pieced together through a series of disturbing eyewitness reports. Several drivers recalled seeing her car pulled over on the side of Route 29 in Culpeper County, Virginia. Witnesses noted a dark-colored pickup truck parked nearby, with a man standing beside it. Some described Alicia appearing calm but hesitant, as though she was speaking with the man reluctantly. These details were chilling because, in the weeks prior to Alicia's disappearance, police in the area had been investigating multiple reports of a man impersonating a police officer along Route 29. He would flash his headlights at women driving alone, signal them to pull over, and then attempt to lure them from their vehicles under the pretense of a mechanical problem. The description of his truck and demeanor matched the accounts surrounding Alicia's last known stop. When Alicia failed to arrive in Charlottesville, her family grew alarmed. By evening, her disappearance had been reported, and search efforts began. 6 weeks later, on May 7, 1996, Alicia's remains were discovered by a turkey hunter in a remote wooded area in Culpeper County, about 15 miles from where her car had last been seen. Her body was too badly decomposed to determine an exact cause of death, but investigators classified the case as a homicide. The gruesome discovery devastated Alicia's family and confirmed the fears of many who believed the man impersonating a police officer had escalated to murder. The investigation into Alicia's murder quickly zeroed in on a suspect, a man named Richard Mark Evonitz, who years later would become infamous for the kidnapping and murder of multiple young women in Virginia. At the time of Alicia's murder, however, Evonitz was not yet on law enforcement's radar. Instead, suspicion initially focused on a local man who was accused of impersonating a police officer along Route 29. This suspect, a Virginia resident, was arrested for repeatedly pulling women over under false pretenses, and witnesses connected his truck to the one seen near Alicia's car. However, despite the circumstantial links, there was not enough evidence to charge him with her murder. He was convicted of separate charges related to impersonating an officer, but Alicia's case remained open. In the early 2000s, after Evonitz's arrest and suicide, investigators revisited Alicia's case to determine whether he might have been involved. Evonitz's pattern of abducting and killing young women bore eerie similarities, but again, no definitive evidence tied him to Alicia's murder. Alicia's case became part of a larger and more disturbing pattern tied to Route 29. Throughout the 1990s, a number of women disappeared or were attacked along the corridor, raising fears of a serial predator targeting drivers in the region. While not all the cases were conclusively linked, the spate of violence gave Route 29 a sinister reputation and left many women afraid to travel alone through central Virginia. One theory is that she was killed by the man arrested for impersonating a police officer near Route 29. The circumstances of her disappearance fit his pattern, and witnesses placed him near the scene. However, without physical evidence, the case could not be proven. Another theory points to Richard Mark Evonitz. Given his later confirmed crimes against young women in Virginia, some believe Alicia may have been one of his earlier victims. Yet the timeline and geography make this connection speculative, and investigators never established conclusive proof. A third possibility is that Alicia's killer has never been identified and may not be connected to either suspect. The fact that her case remains unsolved decades later suggests that vital evidence may have been lost or overlooked.